Congress or politics seems to matter enough to you to burn your relationship with your brother Shehzad, who has been a guest on this podcast. Firstly, what is that relationship like? Because we see the two of you dueling on shows, like what is it? Like offline, off camera, do you talk?
No, we don't.
When was the last time you exchanged any messages?
I think when Surwan was born. Yeah. When my son. Yeah.
You're upset about this?
Yeah.
Tell me why at this point you're welling up with tears when you think of your brother.
Because it's a relationship that I felt, at both ends it's gone wrong. Perhaps the two of us didn't handle it well. So it upsets me. I also brought him up like a father, so I feel bad.
How many years younger is he?
6.
And your father died when you were?
13.
For years now, so many of us have seen you on television, on digital platforms like ours, defending the Congress with qualifications. What we do not know is, are you even a member of the Congress party?
So Barkha, thank you so much for the word with qualifications. But yeah, I'm not a member of the Congress party, not even a primary member of the Congress party.
Why is that?
Because I just thought that I didn't want to invest being a member of the Congress party. I thought I was better off as a supporter.
Is that because you feel freer to speak your mind outside of the party?
Perhaps freer to speak my mind. But also I do so many other things, which I think I'm also an entrepreneur. I also have a personal life. I also think sometimes in politics, I don't know if that would be taken well or no. Also, one personal reason is because I'm married to Monica. I just think the attacks might then just happen at Monica is related to XYZ. So then there's
the XYZ is Priyanka Gandhi.
Yeah, so then there's the Parivarwad issue.
Or rather Priyanka Gandhi's husband, Robert Vadra.
That's true. So I don't want the Parivarwad issue to sort of be the only issue in my life. Because I defended the Congress much before I met Monica. My association with the Congress is much before my association with Monica or anything. But unfortunately, it just becomes about that one relationship. So that's one reason I choose not to.
And yet, obviously, the Congress or politics seems to matter enough to you to burn your relationship with your brother Shehzad, who has been a guest on this podcast. Firstly, what is that relationship like? Because we see the two of you dueling on shows, like what is it? Like offline, off camera, do you talk?
No, we don't.
When was the last time you exchanged any messages?
I think when Surwan was born. Yeah. When my son. Yeah.
You're upset about this?
Yeah.
Tell me why at this point you're welling up with tears when you think of your brother.
Because it's a relationship that I felt, at both ends it's gone wrong. But yeah, that's...
Talk more about it.
It's a relationship that... I'm friends with a lot of people from the BJP. I don't have a problem with someone going to the BJP. I just thought that perhaps the two of us didn't handle it well. So it upsets me. I also brought him up like a father, so I feel bad.
How many years younger is he?
6.
And your father died when you were?
13.
So why don't you reach out?
Yeah, I guess at some point. But you see, there's also a little bit of, I'm also uncomfortable with not just the politics that he does, but also the sparring, because sometimes, no fault of his, the attacks are on the Gandhis and it makes it uncomfortable for me. So I don't have a problem with somebody else attacking them. But to be fair, Priyanka and Robert have been very nice to him. So when that attacks come personally on them and I'm on screen, it makes me uncomfortable. So I tend to sort of keep that distance.
But as you said, you have friends with the BJP. In fact, mindfully, you are not one of those Congress supporters who thinks that just because somebody votes BJP, they're the enemy. I've seen you interacting in a very convivial way with other BJP supporters. So why not your own brother?
So I don't have a problem with somebody being in the BJP. I have a problem with the attacks that were personal on Priyanka and Robert. That is what I thought was not, should not have happened. I don't have a problem with somebody else doing it. That's democracy. They were nice to him. And you see, I am a little old fashioned. If someone's nice to you, don't get personal. So it made it inconvenient. I thought that, it made me a convenient target for him to bring them in. So I just thought it's better to keep a little bit of a distance. That was one part, I think, from my end. But I also think the two of us didn't handle it very well. We could have been slightly more mature about it, but that's
never too late.
Yeah, but I also was very upset that he did leave the Congress. At the time he did. I knew he was having issues in the Congress. I knew that there were certain leaders trying to gun for him because, let's be honest, Barkha, he's supremely talented as a spokesperson. And even when he would come to defend the Congress, he was phenomenal. So while he's much younger to me, I do think Sudhanshu Trivedi, number one, and Shehzad, number two. These are the two best spokespersons today in the BJP. So, but I still didn't want him to leave the Congress. Our family's association with the Congress has got nothing to do with the Gandhis. It's got to do with Mahatma Gandhi. So I just felt that you can't leave the Congress. It's one of those things.
Let's talk about the fact that you are often quite critical of the Congress while still believing in it, but you never actually criticize the Gandhis, right? So let's talk about where the Congress stands today. We're looking ahead at 2024. Yeah. We have concluded recently to the assembly elections. What is the message for you from it?
So I'm a big fan of physics. So mathematically, it's possible to go faster than the speed of light. Mm-hmm. Physics will not allow you to do it. For your viewers to understand, if you could go faster than the speed of light, and imagine I were to throw this coffee on a wall, I would see the coffee fall on the wall before it actually reached the wall. Right. So that's not possible physically. Right. Mathematically, yes, you can go faster.
Yeah.
Similarly, mathematically, it is possible for the Congress to beat the BJP. Mm-hmm. The laws of politics right now, the way I see it, simply won't allow it. Unfortunately.
So you think Modi's going to win 24?
Unless the India alliance does not change as of today. And that will be a tectonic shift in politics. And I already think we're late. Since the September meeting in the Hyatt in Mumbai. And Barkha, let's talk as two people who love politics. The agenda has been set every single day by the BJP. So what was the point of this Hyatt meeting where you had this fancy media committee of all these diverse voices? It ended up looking so bad. Now, one of these conclusions of that meeting was to boycott journalists. And my question is, are we fighting journalists? And I say we because I want the BJP to lose. Or is our political opponent the BJP? Who are we fighting? What are we doing? So, and all the alliance partners have come back to those journalists, except the Congress. So even within that...
And even within the Congress, the chief ministerial candidates, Kamal Nath and others, Ashok Gehlot, if I'm not wrong, felt free to speak with people who were ostensibly boycotted.
So then, if you don't have one principle, how does it work? So why build a principle that you can't control? So don't go down a path that you can't control. And I think we waste too much of our time. You see, the day the Hyatt meeting happened, BJP left a shagufa, India Bharat. You fell for it. Let this great country be India, let it be Bharat, let them change the name to what they want if they want to change outside the constitution. Why are you falling for it? Ask other people of Manipur from Bharat, India or from wherever. Ask other restless Indians or Bharatiyas. You are arguing about India and Bharat. Someday you are arguing about the size of the dart of the lion on the parliament. Some days you are arguing about something, the prime minister going in a dressing room. Are these issues of our country? Of course the BJP is doing it. Of course the BJP is giving this to you on a platter because you're taking it.
When Rahul Gandhi called Prime Minister Modi a panauti for visiting the cricketers in their dressing room, what did you think as a great Gandhi loyalist?
But prior to that, the Prime Minister used very bad words for Mr. Gandhi. This time, the Prime Minister went below the belt. He started it in Rajasthan. He used words that I don't want to repeat for Mr. Gandhi in Rajasthan. And he opened the floodgates. Until then, the campaign, nobody was really that personal.
I think he said, Murkhon ke Sardar.
That's true. Which I thought was below
But see, context matters. My point is, yes, I think the Prime Minister being personally attacked has never yielded political dividends for the opposition.
Doesn't.
But to use a personal barb for a Prime Minister visiting your cricket team.
So if you ask me, if I was Prime Minister, forget Prime Minister, I was Home Minister, and that was the stadium was on my name, I would go.
Absolutely.
So I think, and it's his duty to go as a prime minister. His boys were down. We don't say the same about Macron, right? Macron also went to the French team.
Yeah.
So I think sometimes we nitpick on what we pick up on and we fall for it. Should Mr. Gandhi have done it? No, I don't think so. It doesn't behove a Gandhi. Even today,
What is a Gandhi? You're talking about them like there's some royal family.
So no, I'm not talking to them. I'm not talking about them like there's
so
some
it doesn't
royal family.
behove a Gandhi.
Yes.
That's like a legacy there.
There is a legacy. Of course, there is a legacy. From Motilal Nehru to Rahul Gandhi, there is a legacy. You can't take that away. This family has contributed to India. This family, and I don't think they realize how many Indians even today look up to this family, even young generation Indians who read about Nehru. This country, part of our democratic ethos is because of Nehru. There's a lot of goodwill that the Gandhis enjoy. Mrs. Indira Gandhi continues to be our most popular prime minister ever. In some ratings, she even beats Prime Minister Modi. So it doesn't behove somebody of that stature to go down this road, just like it does not behove Prime Minister Modi to go to West Bengal and say Didi or Didi, or, use terms about Mrs. Gandhi. When you're on a certain level in life, and we can be all that we are all equal, but there is a certain political stature all of us have or people have. When you're on a certain constitutional post, you should not do certain things. And I think this did not behove it.
You have been gunning, including on my programs.
I know what
Or
you're talking about.
Yogendra Yadav, Praveen Chakravarti, Jairam Ramesh. You've been gunning for everybody but Mr. Gandhi and Ms. Vadra. We'll come to them later. Why are you gunning for Praveen Chakravarti and Yogendra Yadav? Why?
They're the mass leaders.
1 minute. Yogendra Yadav is not even a member of the Congress party. Right?
Yeah.
Yes, in the past, he has been a critic of the Congress party. He has said the Congress must die. He has spoken at length about the fact that he changed his mind, why he changed his mind. And to pin the blame of the defeat in the assembly elections on Yogendra Yadav seems somewhat bizarre to me. Why have you gone for Yogendra?
No.
Why are you gunning for Yogendra Yadav? What has he done to you?
No, he's done nothing to me. None of them can do anything to me.
Okay.
Such mass leaders. But no, jokes apart, I'm not pinning the blame of the defeat.
Why are you critical of Yogendra Yadav? Let's start there.
Let me start with the left loonies.
Yeah.
The Congress...
Name some. Who are the left...
I'm not taking...
No, 1 minute.
No,
this is an honest conversation. That's the whole idea of a podcast. You have said the left loonies around the Gandhis, the left loonies in the Congress are pulling the party in a direction that is antithetical to the pulse of the people whom you believe are either today at the center or center right. That's the political reality.
Even center left.
Okay, even center left. They've gone far left.
Yeah.
Can you name 3 left loonies for me who are associated with Congress strategy?
No, I'm not taking names, but they are living in a parallel universe.
Okay.
And again, I go back to physics. So you have this theory of multi-dimensional universe. These guys live in a different universe.
One. If not 3, name one.
Yeah, you took the names.
I didn't take any names.
You took names.
So you named Yogendra Yadav.
So
he's not even in the Congress party.
That's true. But the entire thinking of the Congress has become very left. It's no longer the nationalist party that it used to be. And what was Congress USP? Apart from the party that led our freedom struggle, it was the first nationalist party of our country. Perhaps the only. Even today, Congress exists from Jammu and Kashmir to Kanyakumari, from the northeast to Gujarat. Every single village will have a Congress, Karyakarta Congress office.
Yeah.
What is happening? It doesn't come across as a nationalist party because it's gone so far left. And left as an ideology is dying the world over. The young aspirational Indian does not want to be
left.
left.
But is Rahul Gandhi so impressionable that he doesn't have a mind of his own, that he's influenced by this cabal of what you call left loonies? He has the veto power, right?
And he and Khargeji should use it. I do think that. And that's where I do.
But is Rahul Gandhi a leftist, according to you?
No, I don't think so.
Is Priyanka Gandhi a leftist?
No, I don't think so.
So then?
I think the direction of the politics could be center-left. That is how this country has been. But unfortunately, it's gone so left that people like me who are centrists seem right. Or people like you who are centrists seem right. There is a problem out there. Or people like Milind Deora seem right. Milind were not accepted. I'm saying so many times, and I see this on social media, not that Milind's ever shared anything with me or anyone else, or the way the comments I see about some Congress leaders, they talk proper sense, but it seems that they're so right. By the supporters. These supporters are celebrating defeat as if it's some sort of a virtue. They're wearing it. And I come back to these 3 state elections. I was on a show with Shreya Dhundial. I'm not making this up. And the Congress spokesperson tells Shreya and me, and I'm Congress.
Who is the spokesperson?
No names.
Somebody,
Whoever.
okay.
I'm not making this up, okay? And I'm fiercely Congress and I'm going, no, whatever. And he comes and says, but there's positive from these elections. In 3 states, we came second. And Shreya and I look at each other and I'm like, no, bro. There were 2 people in that race. We came last. There is no positive in that.
Yeah.
So I think they live in some sort of a delusional world.
Cuckoo land?
Cuckoo land. Or they think everyone else is cuckoo, that they will say this and people will believe it. If you live in cuckoo land, that's fine. That can be cured. If you think your voters live there, that is a bigger problem because people don't like it. Do you think people are, for lack of another word, immature or stupid to believe what you see? Take the medium, respect the medium. If I'm in this podcast, I have to respect it. I have to give it my best. If you're on TV, respect it. Don't look down upon your voters. Don't look down upon them as they're some sort of idiots.
I mean, don't you think it's terrible that in this North-South construction post-mortem of these elections, there is a suggestion that the South doesn't vote BJP because the South voter is more evolved. In other words, you're saying you're judging your voter.
The same person whose name you took.
Which person?
The name you took.
Why are you not taking names?
I take names of only the people who are mass or people who are slightly more.
Okay, make your point. Then we'll.
But jokes apart. You see, it started by that. One, that eroded the Congress brand. Again, the Congress was India's only nationalist party. Subsequently, the person was asked to delete his tweet and he did it. But he let in the floodgates. Way before him, I'm going to take one name because she was a minister. While I was on another...
Praveen Chakravarti.
Yeah, but way before...
The person who deleted his tweet was Congress leader Praveen Chakravarti of the North-South divide. Congress member, Congress...
No, I'm asking
politician.
you. I don't know. I'm asking you. But way before him, Renuka Chaudhary ji was on TV with me. And I think the clip's gone a little viral. And she was so arrogant about the victory in Telangana. And I asked her, I said, ma'am, there's no contribution of yours. I said this on TV. Stop being arrogant in victory and let's be a little humble in victory and stop. She started the North-South on another TV channel. And I think the problem is that they don't realize that in their 1 minute of fame, that 500 retweets or little applause amongst the amongst
their
us,
own
little crowd that is their ecosystem, they are damaging the Congress brand. They don't realize it. And how can you be so cut off that you don't realize this? Congress is the only nationalist party. To suggest that people from the North are somehow inferior is not just an inhuman and dehumanizing thing to say. It affects your party, which fought elections in the North, is still a force in the North, in many in the Heartland states. It also asks the questions that the BJP is governing in Puducherry. I don't like the word ruling. The BJP is the principal opposition in Karnataka, has more MPs in the South than the Congress
and swept the Lok Sabha elections. By the way,
and with last time with how many ever MLAs they had in Telangana, they got 4 MPs. With 8, how many are they going to get? Yeah. Now, you see, I just want to add this further. Some of these decisions in the Congress are so politically cut off from reality. Even, for example, in Telangana, appointing OAC as the pro tem speaker. So I tweeted against that as well. And a very senior leader from Telangana called me up and requested me to delete the tweet. And I asked him, why did we appoint OAC? And I use we because I feel a part of the system.
Why were you opposed to it?
Because...
We're talking about Akbaruddin Owaisi.
Because one...
And the BJP refused to. Some BJP members said we will not take our oath with Akbaruddin Owaisi in the chair. You agreed with the BJP on this?
Yes.
Tell me why.
Because...
And you say this is a Muslim.
Yes. Because one, I would be aghast if the BJP would have put T. Raja Singh, their MLA, who uses filth language against the minorities, in the chair. I would be aghast. What holds true for T. Raja Singh holds true for OAC. On a moral principle, you cannot get away saying that you'll eliminate Hindus. This man is wild. He speaks. He polarizes. The political...
He's a legitimately elected MLA.
So is T. Raja Singh.
Yes.
That doesn't make it right. There is something that goes beyond what is right. Just because you're democratically elected, Kapil Mishra was, it doesn't make it right saying Desh ke gaddaro ko goli maro or...
Yeah, I'm not saying the utterances of Raja Singh and Owaisi are utterances I agree with. But they have come into the house through a legitimate process of democracy.
That legitimate process has been vitiated by the hate that they spread.
Okay, so someone called you from Telangana.
So that's one.
A Congress leader called you from Telangana and said delete your tweet.
Yeah, and I said no. But one is the hate part. So I principally disagree with this. But let's even look at it politically. You knew that the BJP previously had boycotted MIM. The Congress considered Telangana and Andhra Pradesh as the assembly as a criteria. You could have just considered Telangana, had several MLAs over 3 times, and had somebody and not had this controversy. It's a distraction. Now, what do you expect the BJP do? I don't agree that somebody should not take an oath. That part I don't agree with. You're not taking an oath to OIC, you're taking an oath to the Constitution of India. But you've given BJP a softball to hit out of the park. It's a political party. Then don't criticize the BJP doing it.
Okay, we'll come to ideology in a moment. I want to come back to the individuals you've been gunning for. Yogendra Yadav. Why are you gunning for Yogendra Yadav? I really want to understand that. Because to me, it seems like it's very convenient to go for the soft target, which is Yogendra Yadav, as opposed to going for where the buck should stop, which is with the leadership.
I am not gunning for anybody.
Okay, what is your disagreement with Yogendra? Let's go step by step.
Not Yogendra Yadav.
You called him a Duggal.
Saab.
Duggal Sahab.
Saab mat bolo, na. Bhulo.
Why?
No, I'm just saying that I can't get myself to take advice from someone who says Congress should die. Congress is in my blood. And the way I've seen it, my grandfather worked with Mahatma Gandhi, Shehzad and my grandfather. He went to jail with Gandhi. I can't get myself to, under any circumstances, say Congress should die under Barkha, I said it under frustration. No, you don't say that. When you started a political party, you didn't get 0.1% vote. You were Mr. Yadav, with respect to him, and Mr. Bhushan, were at the forefront of the 2G campaign. I used to come on your shows on your previous channel. And the amount of nonsense that was spoken about 2G that led to telecom sector going in a loss, that led to licenses being cancelled, what happened? Not one person was convicted. First come, first serve was the right policy, and you've covered telecom, therefore I'm going in so much detail. These people, every day Prashant Bhushan would do press conferences against Robert. He did a Jet Airways press conference. Today, all these people are part of Bharat Jodo, part of this. If we say, I don't believe any government is fascist, I don't believe even BJP is fascist, all of that is political posturing. If we say the fascists are in power, who's responsible for the fascists coming to power? Mahol kisne banaya? वह आंदोलन पर कौन बैठा था? रोज सोनिया जी को गाली कौन दे रहा था? किन शब्दों का प्रयोग हुआ था सोनिया जी के बारे में?
पर आज आपकी पार्टी तो आज आम आदमी पार्टी के साथ इंडिया अलायंस में है, तो आप योगेंद्र यादव को आइसोलेट करके कैसे ब्लेम करते थे? Again, I will ask you. You see, you can have whatever opinion you want to about Yogendra Yadav, but the decisions are taken in the end by the Gandhi family.
I'll come to the Aam Aadmi Party. With the Aam Aadmi Party, it's a part of the India alliance. It's not an individual alliance, and that I understand. I also will disagree with the Congress being in an alliance with the Aam Aadmi Party in Punjab. There is no need to do it. I will also think that the Congress should go after the Aam Aadmi Party on every single issue, without doubt. That is hardcore politics. But when somebody who's an activist now becomes sort of an advisor, but was the cause of you falling in the first place and still cannot give the right advice. For example, I saw his interview with you, Mr. Yadav. He said Congress lost Chhattisgarh because the leaders did not believe in the OBC issue. No, Congress lost it particularly because they brought up the OBC issue in Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh. And I've had this conversation.
So you think the caste census has been a bad idea?
In Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh, not overall.
But you can't demand a national caste census and then localize it and apply it selectively to states.
Exactly. So you don't bring it up in a state election. You can't go about in a state election saying caste census, caste census. That was not the issue of Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh. You not only turned off the voters who were voting for you, you also forgot that in Madhya Pradesh, Shivraj Singh Chauhan ji and before him, Babulal Gaur ji and Uma Bharti ji were OBC. In Chhattisgarh was a tribal state. So it's horses for courses. Of course, the Prime Minister will say one thing. For example, because we're shooting this in 370s, when the Prime Minister say, oh, 370 must go. He won't talk about 371, etc. He won't go to Nagaland and Arunachal and talk about 371. You don't go there and say, no. He won't go to Nagaland and say, one nation, one law. He won't do it. That's political. Though the BJP doesn't have much stakes in the Northeast, except Assam, he won't do it. So why would you go to Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh and say, we must do the OBC census? It wasn't a state government issue in any case. It was a central government issue. It was a union government issue. You could have said it. Look, when we come, we will do this. We will make sure everyone gets justice.
But on the contrary, the argument of the caste census is so-called "Jitni abadi utna hak," which I think is a very I think it's a very problematic slogan, by the way. But if that is the demand, then the suggestion is that the OBC community deserves more than it's got. Why would that create a boomerang impact? I thought Yogendra Yadav was saying that this did not find resonance as an issue on the ground.
So again, jiski jitni जिसकी जितनी हिस्सेदारी उसकी, जिसकी जितनी संख्या भारी उसकी उतनी हिस्सेदारी. I think it's fair in principle that you have proportional representation based on merit. So no one suggesting any one of our fellow citizens who come from a community who are not meritorious, who are meritorious don't get that post. And that is a serious problem in our country. We don't have enough people in the top positions who are from positions that have been traditionally not forward caste as considered. So we must look at making sure that they get the fruits of that or the share of that pie as well. And that is our duty as a nation. We should not discriminate on a meritorious position. So if everyone's a professor, we must have equal chancellors. Why should somebody from a community be underrepresented? That is a separate argument. The problem is when you go about saying that in a state election, in a state where people traditionally are already fighting for other issues, you're diverting from the issue when there already is OBC representation. That became the problem in Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh.
And I think the real
Baghel ji was OBC.
Huh?
Bhupesh Baghel was OBC in Chhattisgarh. Now you're saying you want OBC reservation because you haven't got your rights. So then I as a voter, even if I'm OBC, will ask, I have an OBC chief minister. Why have I not got my rights? Are you going to get the vote or no? So I think the strategy has to be correct. If you were to dissect this election, so I don't like the word upper caste. I'm using it only because it's the term to use, or forward caste. I don't like these terms. I just think we're all human beings. But a lot of so-called upper caste votes that were coming to the Congress, which are traditional Congress votes in Madhya Pradesh, went away from the Congress.
Do you believe Adani is the Rafale of this election?
Adani is not an issue.
I meant that in 2019, Rahul Gandhi went big with Rafale. It did not find resonance with voters. This time, he is singularly fixated on this Adani issue, as are some of his allies. It doesn't seem to be an electoral issue. I'm not saying there aren't genuine questions to raise,
There are very genuine questions to raise. I think, and I must put a caveat out. I do know some of the Adanis decently. I think there are genuine questions to be raised, to be answered by the Adanis. I don't think it's an election issue. I don't think the people.
So is it the Rafale of this issue, election? Or could it be if it becomes a centerpiece of the opposition campaign going into 2024, it will be the Rafale of this election?
It would fall down. It would fall flat simply because the people of India are looking for other solutions. Attacking Adani is not the question right now, foremost in the people's minds. What the Congress should do and the India Alliance should do is first get out of the bureaucratic way, remove this common minimum program that they want to make now under 19th or whatever, come up with a vision document. Tell the people of this country what you will give them versus what the BJP is given in 10 years. Can we do that? Can we have a vision document? Can we talk about Web 3.0, AI, how we'll create jobs, new generation jobs, how we'll create English schools, how we'll allow for more diversity? Talk about your issues.
Why have you been, let's come to the second individual that you have been very critical of, Praveen Chakrabarti.
So, even with these data people, you see, data can be read the way you want it. You can read that with 40% vote share, we've kept our vote share and therefore we're doing brilliantly. Or you can ask yourself, look, in 2018, we got more than 40%, we got no Lok Sabha seats. With 40% now in Madhya Pradesh, we're in trouble in Lok Sabha. Data is how you choose to interpret it. My problem with data analysis is when data is tailor-made to make you believe that you're winning. So I'll tell you this story, which is true. I didn't know what Black Swan meant, what a Black Swan event meant, until I heard the gentleman speak about it. The gentleman said that, look, Modi ji winning in 2014 is a Black Swan event. Ye dobara nahi hoga. It's not possible. Lo behold, 2019, the Black Swan turned white and Modi ji became Prime Minister. And I'm saying this in a no offensive way, so there's no racial slur here. So Modi ji became Prime Minister. You see, you have to again live in a parallel universe to not understand the undercurrents based on data that you cherry pick and say, oh, Modi won't become, Modi is over. And a lot of the people in the Congress at that time got very upset with me because when this thinking Modi ji won't become Prime Minister again, I didn't care. My question was, does Rahul ji become Prime Minister? Because I want to be an MP. Rahul ji Prime Minister banega to मैं MP बनूंगा ना, वो PM बनेगा तो मैं MP बनूंगा, तभी तो चुनाव होगा ना. और मोदी जी नहीं बने तो गडकरी जी बनेंगे, गडकरी जी नहीं बने राजनाथ सिंह जी, मुझे उससे क्या लेना देना? वी आर सेलिब्रेटिंग कि उनके घर में बिरयानी नहीं बनी। यार हमें दाल चावल खाने को नहीं है, हम उनके घर में बिरयानी नहीं बनी उसके सेलिब्रेशन करें। व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑन? And I'm passionately a supporter of Rahul. Can Rahul Gandhi make it? Can Congress make it? That's my idea.
But this is the problem, right? You are a passionate supporter of Rahul Gandhi to the degree that you break up with your brother because he criticizes the Gandhis. You criticize everybody else in the Congress, but not the Gandhis. Doesn't that make you a chamcha?
No, it doesn't. I do criticize. The actions of even the Gandhis.
Doesn't the buck stop with the
it does. It does, but right now in these elections, it stops at
like for example, Pranab Das' diaries that have now been chronicled by his daughter. Even Pranab Mukherjee spoke about what he called Rahul Gandhi's frequent disappearances.
Correct.
He says a lot else. He talks about the absence of maturity in Rahul Gandhi. And admittedly, these are all older moments in politics. He's very upset about the way the ordinance issue was handled. In 2020, his diary entry talks about the Gandhi family establishing or imposing, I'm quoting here, the worst form of hegemony over the party, right? People like you who say, I feel passionately about the Congress, you'll hear everything but criticism of the Gandhis. How do you explain that?
No, I hear criticisms of the Gandhis and I do criticize them.
Tell me one critical thing that you have said so far about the Gandhis.
So many. Raising the OBC issue.
Okay.
It's critical. Okay. He shouldn't have done it. Who did it? I will call a spade, even if I really like Rahul. Because I want Rahul to succeed. I really want him to. Now, you can say that maybe I'm emotional that I want him to succeed. That's a different argument. But I do want him to succeed. But I, unlike Pranab, won't write a book and say, oh, after I've got the fruits of everything, oh, the Gandhis were unfair to me.
The books were never released while he was alive.
That's true. But then
he wrote them privately. He wrote them privately. True. He wrote 51 journals. True. His daughter brought them into the public domain after he died.
And I have respect
if what
for
you
that.
are saying were to be followed, there would be no political memoir ever.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying you write your political memoir and you write.
And you censor what you actually.
No, I'm not even saying that. And you write your diaries. But then the position Pranab Da was, have the guts to say it on the face. Then don't say it behind. Then don't say, oh, I didn't get anything from the party. Aap Rashtrapati bane. Now, you wanted to be Prime Minister. Let's be honest, Pranab Da, a lot of respect, was terrible as a finance minister. Terrible. He brought in the retrospective tax. I have a lot of respect for Pranab Da. He should really like me. And every time I'd go to Rashtrapati Bhavan, he would call me. Imagine the president calling, sitting. He loved watching TV. He would ask me. I really respect him. But you were quite bad as finance minister. This whole policy paralysis came because of what Pranab Da's retrospective tax happened, and a lot of it after that. So let's be clear, nobody is black or white. There are always shades of grey. If Pranab Da had a problem with Mr. Gandhi, he should have addressed it, or with Mrs. Gandhi. When you are in power, when you are enjoying those fruits of the power, you can't say, oh, now I was writing secretly, I had a problem. Then your duty was to tell them. Then how are you different from the others?
No, I think the diary references many feisty arguments that he had with Mrs. Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi. So it is not evident to me that Pranab Da...
Did he bring the point that the quotes about Mr. Gandhi that are now coming up with Mrs. Gandhi? Sonia Gandhi?
We don't know. But there is a reference to the fact that they had arguments.
No, those arguments, he's not written that. So I'm again saying, it's selectively Rahul Gandhi bashing, which in media sells. So I have nothing...
Okay, ask yourself this, because even I hear this a lot, right? What happens in the environment that we live in is you criticize the government, you're called a Congressee. You criticize the Gandhis, you're called Goti. This is all nonsense. We do our job, right? Yeah. In my opinion. And I think the media is also unfortunately polarized. I will still ask you, not because I'm interested in Gandhi bashing, because I'm trying to understand the logic of this. You are related by marriage now to Priyanka Gandhi, right? You meet the family. Do you ever tell them what you really think about some of the choices they're making?
No, we don't talk politics.
How does that work?
Don't.
But they hear what you say in public. Do they ever raise it? Do they ever bring it up?
No, credit to them. Never.
So,
but if there is something critical, there's no wrong. I don't think they have a problem in I saying what I have to say, even against the party or against them, as long as it's said decently. I feel politics should be said decently. So, for example, this OBC thing, I'm saying it in I'm not. You shouldn't go name calling, but as long as you say it in a decent manner, I think we're a democracy. You have a right to criticize everyone, including the Prime Minister, including the Gandhis. I don't think there's a problem.
There's a lot of talk about whether Priyanka Gandhi would be a better politician than Rahul.
I can't comment on it because I haven't seen her lead. I've seen Rahul lead, and Rahul ji did lead well as president. See, you also have to understand, if we simply speak numbers, which again can be changed anyway, while Rahul Gandhi was president, Congress formed the government in Karnataka, despite not being the single largest party. They won Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh.
You're talking about 2018.
2008. That's when he was president. He almost pulled off a victory in Gujarat, reduced BJP to below 3 seats, and he lost the Lok Sabha election. Since then, the Congress hasn't done very well under Mrs. Gandhi and Kharge ji. Kharge ji won Himachal and Karnataka, and now Telangana.
Mrs. Gandhi is sitting there completely against her will in whatever role
In the
she
interim,
is.
as the interim position.
Yes.
So they went down. You needed a position, and now Kharge ji is coming, and you're doing decently. Of the three, Kharge ji, Mrs. Gandhi temporary, and Rahul ji. I'm not talking about Mrs. Gandhi prior to Rahul ji while she ran UPA 1. That was a different era. Rahul Gandhi is the most successful in simple numbers.
Not in the Lok Sabha elections.
Yes, he lost the Lok Sabha elections in 2019. So I'm counting that. I absolutely agree with that. But he won the other elections.
Also lost his own seat.
He did. And I think that is something that the Gandhis need to introspect.
The left is calling for, and I think there's some merit in that. The left is saying, why are you a member of parliament from Kerala? We are not your primary opponent.
Tell the left to keep quiet.
Why?
You're
going to say shove it, but why?
No, sir. I wouldn't say. I don't use that.
Okay, to shut up.
Shut up.
Okay. Why?
Why should he not be? Kerala is not a part of India.
But that is regionalizing your larger fight. Left is not your main opponent.
And in the India alliance, there should be no alliance with the left for Kerala. Just like there should be nothing with Aam Aadmi Party.
How does this work?
So no problem in that. I think we must understand complex dynamics. You can have an India alliance. You can have an alliance in Delhi because the BJP will gain in Lok Sabha. So in Delhi, you can have an alliance. You cannot have an alliance in Punjab and Kerala. And I'll tell you why. Because the minute you do it, you'll concede the opposition space to the BJP. So I think it's fine to be fluid and dynamic in politics. There is nothing wrong. Your cadre will leave you. Your Congress cadre will leave you in Kerala. Your Congress cadre will leave you in Punjab if you do an alliance.
You said that Priyanka Gandhi, you haven't seen her lead. You may not have seen her lead in a centralized role, but she did lead the UP campaign with disastrous consequences.
But that was terrible for the Congress to do. And I know she will not say it.
What do you mean?
You made her in charge of UP. I'm talking strictly as a political analyst. No emotions attached. That
yes.
Yeah. There is no cadre, no money, no resources, no government around that area, no media, local or national. You already have a problem. No local media to support you, and you put her there. What thing?
This national media talking to the Gandhis, I don't like the state of television today.
Yeah.
But I can tell you from personal experience that the Gandhis are as whimsical about not talking to journalists as we accuse the BJP today of being.
Could be. But I'm talking about a larger media play. Okay. It was not then UP. Now you've put her in UP where you had nothing and you've asked her to fight. So you've sent a general with no resources. You could have utilized her much better in the Hindi heartland states and in the southern states, which Himachal, I think, is delivered because of the state leadership. Let me first say the state leadership, so you don't accuse me of being a Gandhi.
Yes.
But also because of Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, Rajiv Shukla.
So the wins are all the Gandhis and the defeats are all somebody else's.
Madhya Pradesh is also Rahul Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi. Let's be clear. I'm not going to sit here on your channel and say, no, I'm going to defend this. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong. But Himachal, Priyanka Gandhi, Rajiv Shukla, Baghel, and Sachin Pilot deserve credit. Had that central leadership, the fights in the Himachal between the current chief minister, etc. You know that there was a problem.
Yeah.
You know that there were issues. These are not hidden. Priyanka handled it brilliantly. She brought in the X factor. Rajiv Shukla was, of course, there with Rajiv Shukla, who's phenomenal. Sachin Pilot and Baghel, they managed it. And look, in Himachal, the Prime Minister said, "Aap candidate ko bhi mat dekho, sirf Kamal ko dekho, aur mere liye vote karo, ye mera dusra ghar hai." And yet to defeat the Prime Minister in Himachal. And I say this with responsibility because Himachal is a state with 90% Hindu population. 65% of that is upper caste Hindu population. For a Congress to form a government there was phenomenal achievement. Even in Karnataka, Priyanka kept on taking on the Prime Minister. Two people the Prime Minister finds very difficult to take on is Kharge ji and Priyanka. He finds it very difficult to take them on. Khargeji also because with the Prime Minister, he always plays that, look, I've been a victim of these attacks. With Khargeji comes from even more trying circumstances. So it's very difficult for that to stick on Khargeji. With Priyanka, I think the Prime Minister's realized that she does have a certain amount of X factor. This country does not like women being attacked. It didn't like the Sonia ji and the Monica Lewinsky statement when Vajpayee ji was Prime Minister, he apologized on air about it. Prime Minister, it shouldn't happen. It backfired in West Bengal with Mamta ji. So I think Priyanka ji's attacks are very political. It's not personal.
Well, so far the political gains of that have not been tested directly.
Karnataka and Himachal?
I don't know. D.K. Shivakumar, Siddaramaiya?
Again, I started...
Unpopularity of Bomai?
No. I'm starting with the state. Please understand, Barkha. Without the state leadership, you cannot. Even in Telangana, without Revant Reddy in the state, you cannot. The base has to be there. It's not that Modi sir, without a base can make you win an election. There is a BJP base, a BJP machinery, a BJP card.
Is Robert Vadra going to enter politics?
How do I know? I don't ask him.
You know him?
I don't ask him.
What do you think?
I don't know. I really don't know.
In the past, he has expressed his interest in it.
From Moradabad?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm asking you.
I remember interviewing him many years ago when he spoke about this.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay. So then good luck.
And is she going to run, or you think she should?
I think she should. I really think she should. It will rejuvenate the card. In fact, I thought she should have run from Kanyakumari when the MP passed away. I'm talking about a couple of years ago. Because that would have had a great impact on Tamil Nadu. This was prior to the Tamil Nadu state elections. Of course, the MK Congress won it. But I think she should have run from there.
I want to come back to you in the last few minutes. But before we shift gear, one thing that you think the Congress urgently needs to change about itself?
Get out of the left idea that they are completely left idea that they're in. Become more centrist. Become the big tent that has room for everybody. Number 2, stop playing the victim card. Stop thinking everybody's against you. Media is not against you. No one's against you. Yes, there is the state of the media that's, for lack of another word, quite bad. But it's not that you can't deal with it. Mm-hmm. You got to make conversation. You need to make bridges. Number 3, start thinking practically on what people of this country want and work on that. Don't fall for the little loops that the BJP give and fall into those debates. The size of the teeth of the lion on parliament, Prime Minister going inside a dressing room. These are not the issues of the country. Of course, the BJP encourages it. With their ecosystem, it's played up more. But those applause that the Congress or the Congress leaders are getting is only their echo chamber. They're the only people cheering it.
You're preaching to the converted.
You need to get the fence sitter. Not everyone who votes for the BJP is communal, Sanghi, bigoted. It's not like that.
Who's your best friend in the BJP?
I have friends everywhere.
But is it a dear friend?
No, I like everyone. I really like. I have no problem with anyone, either in the BJP or the Congress. I have a political problem with the left ideology and the extreme right ideology. So if I call them the left loonies, I call these the rowdy right.
Yeah.
I'm extremely uncomfortable with even the rowdy right. I don't think that should exist. But should we not have a conversation? We must have a conversation. We must have an honest conversation, not believing or not being deluded by the lies that we believe about ourselves. That is when we will politically progress and we'll politically win.
Let's spend the last few minutes talking about you again.
Yeah.
How does your mother handle the differences between you and Shehzad?
Very gracefully. I wish I could get 1% of the grace that she has.
Does she feel sad about what's happened?
Yeah, I mean, she's a mother. But, Shehzad has spoiled his equations with her.
Yeah.
And not a she. She's the mother. So I think from what I know that she WhatsApps him every day. They chat and they talk and they always...
She hasn't urged you both to reconcile?
No, she doesn't do that. My mom is, in that sense, she's very... she'll mind her own business in that sense, which is great. But she does know that if... and I'm saying this, if Shehzad ever needs me, I'll be there.
Good. That's good to hear. What does being Muslim mean to you?
I don't think of myself as Muslim. I think of myself as Indian.
Explain.
I don't.
You can be both.
Yes, you can. But I'm also...
Indian can be your first identity. And
it's my only identity.
Are you a-religious?
I am atheist.
Oh, you're an atheist.
I'm not even
But even
agnostic.
atheists can be culturally a certain way, right?
So culturally, it's amazing because we were brought up in a house where we celebrated everything. So we did celebrate. So we have Ganpati who comes home. We celebrate Eid. We celebrate Navroz because there's that heritage. So we celebrate everything at home. So we'll go out for Navroz. We'll have Christmas celebrations. So our house is always a celebration. The house is always open. There's always celebrations going on. And also culturally, because like I said, every year Ganpati comes, we have all these pujas. So it is for us a blend of everything. Religion is not an identity for any of us. My mom is very religious, very religious. But the same mother will go to the temple every morning and she sits with her women outside the temple. She cleans the temple. So also that, because the way older citizens in India were, now we have so much polarization. I think that differences doesn't come up. So,
and you are now in public life.
Yeah.
You're a political supporter, a political analyst. Politics has been part of your life. How did it start? You know, you with Shehzad, when you were on the same side, you worked with Rajiv Shukla, Manish Tiwari,
He did.
Digvijay Singh. Didn't you also?
No, with Digvijay Singh in UP.
Okay.
You know the Congress, what they did in UP? I'll share this.
Yeah.
They planted a story against Shehzad and me in UP.
I remember that.
Congress.
So why?
The Congress. I think I'll tell you, but I think Rahul Gandhi said one thing very well, that Congress only will hurt the Congress. He said this at one point. I think in Kerala he said it.
Yeah.
It's true to an extent. The Congress only hurts.
But you know, a lot of people say, who are these Poonawalla brothers? ये कहाँ से आए?
कौन पूछते हैं? जो लोग भाजपा से आए, वो पूछते हैं. But see, I'll tell you what. I was very fascinated with politics from the beginning. I worked with the Pune MP. That was me.
Suresh Kalmadi. At a time when, much before the politics, at the 2008 Youth Games in Pune. So they were the youth games. And we had various committees in Pune. We had the Ganpati committee. We had Pune Film Festival, Pune Marathon. So it was all these committees. I was very close to his kids. His kids and I were friends. And he then gets embroiled in massive corruption.
2010. I'm talking 2008.
Yeah.
So 2008, 2009, I help him in his elections. We campaign. It's a Congress sweep, 200 plus seats, and he wins Pune. Now I come to Delhi because the team that had worked in the youth games, he wanted in Delhi. I fortunately didn't join the organizing committee, but I was there to help him to be there by his side. What surprised me then, and that's when I learned Congress politics, was the opening of the Commonwealth Games scam was not the BJP. Was not BJP that went after Mr. Kalmadi. Was Manish Iyer and his loud mouth. That led to this, the BJP then latching onto it. It was not. Manish Iyer started. Manish Iyer fought with everyone in the Congress, I think, or whatever. Still, he also believes he got nothing from the Congress. Despite going to Rajya Sabha by presidential route, he believes he also got nothing or this thing. But Manish Iyer started the Commonwealth thing, not the BJP.
So should he have looked away from what he believed was corruption?
Where is anything being proved? And I'll tell you one thing. It was such a disservice to this great country because the Commonwealth game under Sheila Dikshit was the best Commonwealth game ever organized. Not just like the G20 was phenomenal. What an event. But look at the G20, how they managed it. Look at this. Because Congress people were at the forefront of attacking. Both Sheila ji and...
so that was your entry. And then here you are. Are you going to contest elections?
I don't know what happens tomorrow.
Are you going to stay with the Congress?
Yeah, I breathe.
But you're not even a member of the party.
Yeah, but I do want to see them succeed.
If Tehseen Poonawalla was an advisor to Rahul Gandhi and not the current advisors that he has, what's the one thing he'd want Rahul Gandhi to come out and say to the people of India today?
To give them a roadmap of how the Congress party will make their future better. Not attack Prime Minister Modi on everything. Not because it's wrong to attack the Prime Minister. Please attack the Prime Minister on issues. Not on issues. And to credit Mr. Gandhi, he doesn't attack on silly issues. People around him do. But attack the Prime Minister on larger issues. Don't make it Modi. Because Indira Gandhi never took her opponent's name. You make your opponent bigger. So first, stop taking the name Modi ji. Say, call him the Prime Minister. Speak on Prime Minister. Speak on facts. Give a roadmap. I thought the Manipur speech in Parliament could have been crisper and more focused because the entire country's media was on you. rather than diverting to Bharat Jodo at that point and his experience. Now, I understand where he's coming from. He wanted to give his experience before going to Manipur. But I just think that there were so many more pertinent questions which Gaurav Gogoi raised brilliantly, which Rahulji should have raised even better. I think if you make it slightly more crisp, slightly more focused, you'll get more results than so be more like a sniper than a machine gun that you're shooting everywhere. Be focused, you will get it, because he's a well-meaning guy. He's a well-read guy. He's well cultured. For
Tell us one thing about Rahul Gandhi that we don't know.
No, everybody knows everything. His life is in the public domain. I think he's extremely well-meaning, extremely cultured. I think he's extremely well-read.
Do you think he should exit politics?
No, I seriously think he should not. I seriously believe he should now fight and make it his mission to take Congress back to closer to the glory days that it was.
Well, we're going to have another conversation with you after 2024. Let's see what happens in the next few months. Thank you, Tehseen. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, Barkha. Thank you so much.
Thank you.